So it looks like I'm leaving the AMOC, the Hermetic order that I belong to for all of like, what, a week, 2 weeks maybe? Starting on the 20th, today's the 20th, a week. So, it's, look, the reason I joined them is I thought it would be valuable and useful to follow a regular system, like a formal system of magic, of spirituality and magic and that kind of thing, right? Because, you know, I mean, I'm self-taught, and there's a lot of, you know, that's the way I normally do things, but I recognize the value in formal education, because, you know, it helps fill in the blanks, if you will. Because when you do it yourself, you know, you don't know what you don't know, kind of a thing, and you can miss things and not have a really solid foundation, and you're kind of skipping along. And so, you know, I get that, and I'd like, you know, so my thought was I would start with, well, I mean, I've been doing this for 20 years, but it's been haphazard, and, you know, it's like I'd like something, you know, like I said, some, you know, I've done foundational work so many times. I am the eternal beginner. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. I'd rather but basically I'm looking for foundational work in the structure in which I am now subscribed to, which is just Hermeticism. All right, so it makes sense to join Rosicrucian order because they, you know, at least seem to subscribe to Hermetic principles. So what happened? Well, I started reading Liber 888, and it's one of the foundational. I'm allowed to discuss it because it says it's specifically open to the public, and, you know, so this is public information. Well, good. So, because I'm about to reveal my disagreements with it. And look, I have reservations about doing this, about like criticizing basically a Hermetic order that's been around for, you know, 100-something years, and, you know, it's like, you know, who the hell am I, right? But on the other hand, I am all I've got, so I've got to, like, so anyway, okay. And you know, it's like, look, I had some issues, I guess, from the very beginning, but, you know, those kinds of things fall into at least two categories, right? One is, you know, my quibbles, you know, and it's like, yeah, it's like I disagree with that, but I'm willing to put that aside. It's not that major. It's not that big of a deal. I could be wrong. You know, it's not worth. It's not something that would stop me from you know, getting what the value I can out of it. For example, one of my first quibbles was like the whole, you know, spirituality, path of spirituality, not a religion. I'm like, really? I'm not so sure that's true, but, you know, okay. I'm not gonna quibble about it. Let me just, you know, see what's here. It's cool. You know, that's fine. Well, I started reading 888, and I got to a few passages which I think they were talking. I think it was talking about health. I took some notes here, so I could, like, you know, be a bit more specific here. So this is where I started going, wait, what? The entire universe is governed by an intelligence whose perfection exceeds anything conceivable by the human mind. So, you know, the first thing I always jump to when I see something like that is, if it's not intelligible by the human mind, how did you intelligate it? You know, where did you know? So, you know, but okay, yeah, all right, that's fine. But that's not exactly my understanding of, you know, I guess this word's like, you know, it's like, I understand it's like the entire universe is governed. So, okay, again, that's that. You know, I read that and it's like, yeah, okay, yeah, sure. But I do have some quibbles about that. But that's like where I started, like, kind of like, But it's this one, like that. I think the next paragraph. Our life is not subject to chance and is never a plaything of blind and arbitrary forces. Really? Never? We're you know, our lives are never subject to chance? So, look, so there are some things, like I said, some things that are quibbles, some things I simply cannot stomach. And I mean that, like, literally. Some ideas I find so repulsive, it churns my stomach. And that's one of them. That everything is, there's no such thing as chance. Right? That there's no randomness at all in the universe. Everything is predestined. Everything is God's will. Everything, you know. And that deep. I find that very deeply disturbing, and that is just not something I can get beyond. For a few reasons. One is, I don't think that's what the Hermetic... No, I could be wrong. This is, again, that could be wrong, in which case I might just abandon Hermeticism, as this is like a foundational principle of Hermeticism. But I don't think it is. My understanding is that there is chaos in the world, you know, that God, you know, the mind of God mounted chaos, and from that drew the known universe. So the universe is a mixture of order and chaos, you know, light and dark, and so that basically chaos exists. And I don't know if it's a 50-50 mixture or whatever, but it's you know, we are subject to random forces. You know, shit happens. You know what I mean? It's like, you cannot ignore that and call that like spiritual awakening or something like that. That's just not how the universe works, you know? And this was a section on health. So this was like, what the hell, man? But anyway, I was saying that I think that it's, try not to get run over here. So, I mean, basically, either it's not true, which, I mean, it doesn't seem to fit to my understanding of the Hermetic philosophy, or, I mean, it's not something that we can possibly know is true or not, right? It's completely out of our ability, so we can either decide to believe it or not. And I think the utility of believing that that is true is negative. I think it's harmful, and I think it results in harmful beliefs. It's like, well, God willed it, kind of stuff, and I just don't think that's, I think the right spiritual answer is to, because I mean, if you look in CH1, which is basically as far as I've deeply delved into it, the mind of God is with you through adversity. It doesn't say that God willed all this bad shit to happen to you. It says, I'll make it easier to bear. And that's to me, that's the deeper wisdom. That just makes a lot more sense to me. And unless they can square that with what I understand, what granted my limited understanding of Hermetic teaching, that's just I gotta say no thank you, and move on. But it doesn't end there. Okay, I did keep reading. There is a point at which I just completely stopped reading because I was like, this is more than enough. Basically, I'd already made my decision at that point to say no thank you. But I did go on a bit. So there's a section that talks about family, and it has like a couple of paragraphs saying, sometimes you got to get divorced. Divorce is okay, and it doesn't, even if it flies against religious dogma that teaches against divorce. It's like, wait, what? You're advocating divorce? No, okay, it did say some, it's a last resort, and but still, it's saying, religions. There are religions that may say you shouldn't get divorced, but ignore that. It's like, well, wait a minute. What happened to you being like completely compatible with any religion, right? Wasn't that like part of the selling pitch? That we're not a religion. We don't have. You see, that's one of the things that really bothers me about it, because it's like I knew it wasn't true, but I was like, okay, like I said, that was a quibble. I'll put that aside. The whole, you don't have to have any particular beliefs. We don't teach you. We don't have any particular, code of behavior or beliefs or whatever. But man, for an organization that doesn't have any belief, you sure seem to have a lot of beliefs, So in that are absolutely incompatible with certain other religions, like a lot of major religions, So I'm like, it's like, so it's like, yeah, compatible my ass. Okay, and then, so the whole thing, right? This is what like really is like, you gotta be shitting me. Okay. So the whole thing, right? Liber 888 is about the Council of Solace. All right. So the Council of Solace is basically, it's a ritual, as I understand it, is like a worldwide ritual of Rosicrucians that basically they're praying for your help, you know, praying. It's like, okay, it's a noble thing, you know what I mean? It's like if you're suffering, they're praying for the ease of your suffering and to make it through sickness and the bad things that are happening to you. Where it's here to offer you solace, right? Okay, that sounds awesome, and I thought that sounded pretty cool. But then they say, and I'm looking at my notes here. Then they say it's a ritual, but there's no link to magic or occult practice. But they also just said they couldn't share what it was. It was like secret. It's a secret ritual, but it's not no link to occult practice. What? It's like you gotta. What? That's what occult practice is. Oh my God. What do you think occult means? It means hidden, right? I was just... Oh my God. No. It's like, nah, son. I'm not... Sorry. It's like, okay, cancel subscription. I'm just... again, I accept the fact, or accept the possibility that I could be completely wrong, right? That could be way off base here. That I just don't understand crap. But if that's the case, you gotta help me out. Explain it to me like I'm a 5-year-old, because I do not get it. And these are the introductory materials. These are the materials that are supposed to be open to the public to for you to read it and say, hey, I want to join this group, So this is their advertising. So this is the stuff that's supposed to convince me that I'm in the right place. I mean, I guess, another good form of advertising is one to help convince you when you're not in the right place, you know what I mean? It's like to filter out the people who don't belong. So, maybe that's a function of it too. It's like, we don't want people like you. So maybe, I don't know, or you don't, it's like you might not fit in if blah blah blah, Yeah, okay. I accept that is most certainly true. I don't think I belong. So, but I'm not going to go into it right now. I've talked way long enough, but I think I may have found another training program that is worth my time, and I'm investigating, and we'll talk about it again later. Bye.